I feel as though liberal hypocrisy is my biggest qualm with the Democratic Party. Um, I like to read the Democratic Party platform, and I like the ideas of, affordable housing, education, equality, educational opportunity, things of that nature. But then I have a problem with the idea that many Democratic politicians, people who belong to the Democratic Party, spew that our goals would be complete only if those pesky Republicans um, would leave us alone, would stop gerrymandering, would stop, being so corrupt, yada yada yada. However, if you do take a look at states and large cities and urban areas where the Democratic Party has complete control, no opposition, you still find these issues that the Democratic Party really wants to address. And that's the hypocrisy that annoys me and frustrates me very much. Of course, I could be wrong, and I hope I'm wrong. And if I could be proven wrong, please do that for me. But, you take cities like Chicago, and, the Democratic Party, like I mentioned earlier, has a big focus on educational opportunity. Things like um, every single child, no matter what tax base you belong to, no matter what your house income is, you should get the best top education as those around you. However, if you look at like Chicago public school systems, um, they'll take the entire district of CPS and further divide that even to more districts. So the top of the north side of Chicago, where the tax base is generally higher, there are more affluent people that live there. You take that, the money that CPS collects from them kind of just gets back to their own tax base. So essentially, you have these CPS schools in the north that are essentially private, you know, country clubs with education on the side, giving these kids in the north side the best education possible, while kids in the south side have to deal with terrible, terrible school systems and things of that nature. So my question is, why is that a thing? Um, my question also is, I hope I'm incorrect about that, and there is a perfectly good explanation, but I don't understand the educational inequality that happens, especially when the Democratic Party runs on a platform that supports it. My second, um, I guess, sort of qualm with the Democratic Party is the idea of NIMBYs, so like not in my backyard, right? So you take places like San Francisco, California, right? It's the Democratic hotbed, those 55 electoral votes consistently every election, right? And you have these very affluent, white, liberal folks who are part and subscribe to the Democratic Party. And, you know, a key message of the Democratic Party is, you know, housing for all. We want affordable housing. We want every American to be able to buy a house as long as he or she, you know, has a stable income, works, such and such. But then the problem then becomes whenever historically, I've looked at some research, and historically, in recent times at least, every time any high density housing gets proposed in the area, these really rich, affluent Democrats, liberals, whatever they want to call themselves, um, they always strike it down every time. And instead, they just prefer, instead of building, one apartment building that houses give or take 1,000 people, they'll just build three, single homes where, one family per home. And that's, it makes sense, obviously, why you'd want to do that, to preserve the property value of your house. But, they'll like to say instead it's for safety concerns, it's for X, Y, and Z. But the problem is, or what frustrates me, isn't the fact that, you know, they have a problem with high density homes. You can say no, and that's your reaction. That's totally up to you. But what annoys me and frustrates me most is that you will say, um, you support affordable housing, but every time affordable housing gets proposed, it's not, it's okay, but not in your backyard. And that's kind of um, those two reasons with me have always stuck. And there's a lot of other reasons, but this idea of hypocrisy, this idea that because I'm a man of color, because I'm a brown man, the Democratic Party just has to automatically have my vote because for whatever reason, you know, because of the way I look and the way I'm raised, that I have to subscribe to this party. And that's what frustrates me most. I feel like I'm being used at times. I feel like, you know, my opinion, my voice is not heard. I feel like um, I'm just being used for votes every couple of years to 4 years, and every election cycle, you know, a lot of these Democrats run on good principles, good fundamental principles that a lot of people, a lot of hardworking middle class folks can agree upon, even, affluent folks. But, those things don't really happen, and they can't keep playing the card of it's the Republicans' fault, because when you look at cities and states where Democrats have all the power, um, you know, they don't keep up on their promises. And like I said last video, and like I will continue to say, I really hope that I'm wrong. I really hope that I can be disproven. And if I can, please do that in the comment section below. Uh, I hope you enjoy your day. Thank you for listening.